everyone. I'm Catherine Goshen, a professional astrologer from the village of Nyack in New York State, and I'm passionate about in-depth astrology and getting to the heart of the matter. In this video, I want to talk about the potential energies available to Aries and Aries rising for the year 2021. Just a note that when I give certain dates, always take a day or two on either side of those, because this is dependent on your time zone and where you are living in the world. This coming year is very much about continuing to put yourself out there in a work environment and to succeed, because last year was on some level a very rich year for you. And I see that you did manage to make progress. If you're not working, it might have been in your status out in the world. But you are not a fearful person by nature. You take things in your stride. And the suggestion is that your efforts to continue to move forward at work continue on in 2021, in spite of all the unusual conditions that the world is facing at this time. We are in a process as a global nation of reshaping how we interact with one another. And we're moving from an earth-dominated economy to an air or intellectual-dominated economy, according to astrology. And as such, it's a slow process of adaptation. Change is usually slow and incremental. And we need to remember that we will always need to farm. We will always need to be able to fix machines, and so on and so forth. So that part of our economy is not going away. So, Aries, I wrote at the bottom of the chart here that for you, a great way of looking at 2021 is to think of it as a year in which you get to harness your emotional power. There is a lot of misconception in modern astrology about Aries rushing around and being an undisciplined sign. The real focus of the Mars energy is that of the emotional power under discipline. And if you manage to gain a sense of control over your emotions, this is the greatest hurdle that you have overcome in order to success and living a more peaceful and contented existence amongst your fellow human beings. So all the potential is there for you this year, Aries, and discipline is your friend. Any routines that you can master over body, mind, or feelings will help you to become more centered and to deploy your incredibly powerful and energizing and pioneering Mars energy out into the world. The theme for you, which is highlighted in 2021, is collective endeavors. And this is because you have the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, which is the major event taking place. It's going to take place in the 11th house of your solar chart. So this is for both Aries Sun and Aries rising. This conjunction actually takes place at the tail end of 2020 on December 21st. And it's bringing in this Aquarian energy, which is very much about collective consciousness, into your 11th house, which is the house of groups, the house of friends, and the house of collective endeavors. It's the house where we work together with others to fulfill our ideals. Now, what I would like to point out very importantly about the planet Mars is that when Mars is operating at a very egocentric level, where all its willpower is used to only gratify the self, then some problems can arise. The true position of Mars in the pantheon of planets is to use its enormous discipline and power for the collective good of all. And this doesn't have to be something grand. It can also be on a very small scale, but wherever in your own life you are able to use the energy of Mars to assist in creating improved conditions or a vision that helps others and not just yourself. This is the true Dharma energy of the Mars principle. So best of luck with that, Aries. And I'm now going to go through some of the months of the year, just pointing out when it's a good time to do certain things. Astrology has never been dogmatic, and it never will be. And bear in mind, you have your own chart, which will also be influencing these projections which I bring, which are based on the movement of your ruler, mainly through time and the aspects that it receives. So in January, you still coming off on the tail end of the last 6 months of 2020, because you had Mars in your sign all that time, where it was moving backwards and forwards and giving you an extra long time for self-development, reflection, and realizing exactly where your talents and your skills lie. And now you're ready in 2021 to move forward with this. So the year begins with Mars still in Aries, and you are able to complete any projects which were left outstanding from 2020. So the year really gets underway for you, moving away from Mars in Aries and from this area of self-development in your chart into a new area. And that takes place around January the 6th, when you will have your ruling planet move into your house of finances, where it will be bringing energy until early March. So you have these first 2 months of the year, Aries, to really put in the spirit of enterprise. If you run a business or are involved in a business, this is a time for potential success, and it's a time to invest money if you are able and if appropriate in your business. Anything to do with finances are energized at this time. Because you also have the planet Uranus here for a long time, this can mean that there are novel ways for you to make money, and you need to be open to this. The worst way for you to manage finances in 2021 and in the next few years to come is to try to stick to a certain formula that has been working for you for many years in the past. The best way for you to work with this energy is to embrace the new and open yourself up to new forms of energy and making money, because this is what wants to come into your life. So January and February are those 2 months. Get the finances in order. Put effort into seeing where you stand after the coronavirus. There might be debt to consider, and you will be helped by the planetary energies at this time. You've also got a lot of willpower due to Saturn visiting your planetary ruler in January. So if you have something to focus on and you need to get something done, which takes a concentrated power of attention, that would be in the first 2 weeks of January. On into March, and we have your ruling planet moving into your communications sector. And Aries, this is all about the circulation of information. How do you share with others? Who do you share information with on a daily basis? And can you streamline the way that you communicate? If you are one of those Aries suns who also has Aries in Mercury, you'll know from experience that some people find your communication very direct and sometimes a little bit too abrupt. So this would be a good time during March to finesse how you communicate and also to polish your online skills if, like many people, you have been catapulted into the age of sharing on social media due to the coronavirus. A daily idea exchange is very helpful at this time, as is writing, and also putting into practice many of the ideas that you were fermenting over during 2020. March into April, as the sun moves into your sign, will be a very good time to initiate big plans for the year. And your new moon in Aries is April 11th. So that is really the day where you set your intentions for the year ahead. And the day after new moon is a very good time to launch a new business, a new product, put yourself out there. Perhaps you have a new program that you would like to share with others. That's your time. From the 3rd week in May until early June, there will be a lot of helpful energies around for you to connect with your deepest intuition. And if you are an artist, this is also a wonderful time to really go deep into your art and to express the highest form of what you do. In June, we've got the home coming under focus. And this is always an interesting time for you, Aries, because you are often torn between tending to your home and tending to work. And we see over this time that there may be a few tensions between spending time with your children and spending time alone, or needing to relax and also do deep inner work which you've committed to. So if you know that's coming up, you can handle it gracefully. By the end of June and early July, you've got a lot of things going on where you might feel as if there's something stopping you from getting ahead and fulfilling all these projects that you really need to push out. But be at peace, because there is a stronger energy than this energy, which is acting like a wall or a barrier in your life. And this stronger, more revolutionary energy is going to come in early July and enable you to break free of certain constraints which have been holding you back. Then from the very end of July and until mid-September, there's a wonderful opportunity for you, Aries, to get your daily routine invigorated. And this might see you starting a new exercise program. And you could also be recommitting to an old one. But after that time of relaxation, this is the time where you get organized and you feel that you are now on the cusp of halfway through your solar year, and you need to take stock at this time and see, is there something that is getting in the way of achieving exactly what I want to achieve? And if I just make a small adjustment during this period, August to early September, a lot of things will change. Maybe it's getting up an hour earlier so that you have time for those things. Maybe it's walking for half an hour a day. Whatever it is that is helpful to you, this is the time of year to institute it. There will be some adjustment needed in August between routine and finding time also to hang out with friends who might start demanding something from you during this time. Then mid-September to the end of October, there could be some kind of opposition that you encounter, especially with those that you are really close to. Your spouse, your long-term partner, your business partner. You've been forewarned and you don't have to act on this. What it means is that this close relationship, in whichever format it comes, will be energized in your chart, and you can choose to use that opposition, that friction, to instead put yourself out into the world. Don't knock heads or try to engage intensely at home or at work at this time with an individual that you're close to. The best way to use the energy is to project it out and disperse it in a way that is helpful to others. You might want to volunteer at this time or give something away for free. If it's not your time or your money, you'll find a way to offer your services. The interesting thing is that others will probably view you as rather diplomatic at this time, whereas close loved ones may have a different impression on you. So best of luck with that. Use the time wisely. It can be a productive time, or it could simply be a time to sit back a little and do less. An important time of adjustment for all of us would be, this is not just for Aries, but I'm bringing it here because it's very helpful to know, will be October 8th to October 12th. Saturn, the great planet, will be stationing direct after being retrograde. And this is always a few days where we need to gather ourselves, gather our ambitions, and get ready to move forward with big projects that might have been on the back burner for a while. Aries, your full moon is on October 20th this year, and that will be an excellent time to take stock and see if you have succeeded with the intentions that you set in January and in April for your year. Then at the very end of October, all the way until mid-December, you will have that part of your chart energized, which has to deal with joint finances and helping others with their finances. So, of course, as always, there are a myriad of interpretations. Perhaps you are starting a business venture with a friend. Perhaps you are helping family or clients with their finances and taxes. You might be dealing with inheritance issues. And the other side of this house is that it can be a very deep time of psychotherapy or spiritual processing. So keep those two themes in mind as you go through November of 2021. There will also be a tremendous amount of physical energy available to you at this time. It would be a very good time to plan a hike or a triathlon if you're an athlete, and to know that you will be at your peak physical fitness for the year at that time. November 5th to 11th, I wanted to note, because once again, those energies could come up where there is a little tension between something which is trying to hold you back. And then as that releases, there's this energy which is pushing you forward to change. So embrace that and go forward with it. Almost always this year, as long as you keep your disciplined routine, your best option will be to open to the new and to open to the unknown. From mid-December, there's a beautiful finish to the year for you, where there will be the opportunity for long distance travel if it is safe and if things are opened up at this time. So it would be a wonderful time to plan a trip if all is well. If not, then armchair travel is an option, or higher education, starting a new project, studying something new, and basically getting ready to relax and wind down for the holidays. And my wish for you, Aries, is to master those emotions and to have an absolutely fabulous and heartwarming 2021. Until next time.